We're live.
We're live.
That
We
was
made
really
it.
weird. It only gave you the countdown on your side of the screen, which was
Yeah,
weird.
that's because I think it made, well, no, it didn't make me the host. No, I don't know why it did that. Because remember, you had to exit
Also,
and come back,
yeah,
so
when
it
I
like moved.
left, but why would the main person be on the side? Like, I think this is how it should have been, but it wasn't how it was. I don't know. I
It's
don't
just
pretend to know what I'm doing.
technology, we as long as we're here and we're recording, that's what matters most.
We made it. You were busy this afternoon, and we still made it. So we're here. It's
Yeah,
6:30. Not too bad.
the thing is that I didn't even realize like the time when I was done. I was like, I'm just sitting there and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna order his pizza because I know I gotta feed him. And then you text me and I was like, oh my gosh.
It goes so fast. I was almost asleep on the bed
Uh-huh.
over here, and
Oh
I'm
my
like, I
God.
can't. I got to get out of the
No,
bed
you
or I will
can't.
miss it completely.
We could have rescheduled because clearly, if you need a nap, then you need a nap because we know you don't take
No,
naps.
I don't take naps, but no, that doesn't work for me.
You said
We're going to be
absolutely not.
so busy the next 2 months because soccer started, and
Mhm.
it's like 4 days a week. It's just
Yeah.
crazy.
It's gonna be brutal. Like I just got his schedule and we have games 2 days a week and practice the other two. And it's gonna be, yeah, on top of schoolwork and work. This is gonna be interesting.
It's only a couple months. You guys are done in June, right?
June, but I saw something about possible tournaments, so I don't know.
Gosh,
Right.
no.
I am so nervous. I am so very nervous.
We're done mid-June, so but that is the remainder of our podcast time. So
Yeah.
every week's going to be a toss up.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll figure it out. We will.
We'll figure it out.
We always do.
We do. Well, we had such a good time last time that I think we hit a stride with our formatting here where we're just going to talk about a couple things and see where the episode takes us. We got some ideas to bring up, and then whatever happens, happens. If we tangent the whole time and we don't end up talking about anything, oh well. Come along for the
You
ride.
know, the fun thing is that Caleb forgot to mention that, he's following my, what did I call it? What did I call it?
You
Structured
called it
something.
structured chaos? No, what do you call it? Structured.
I don't remember, but I called it something. Structured spontaneity. Was it structured spontaneity or something I did?
Yes, you
It
said
was something weird.
you said structured freestyle.
There we go. Structured freestyle.
I had to go back to the text.
So we're like containing our madness, but we're still having our madness.
Yeah, there's still some good fun stuff to talk about, so we'll start there and see where it takes us.
The Never Never Land.
No. No, I'm not going to hang out with Peter Pan.
Which there are some books, that are Peter Pan retelling. I haven't read them,
I
but
just
apparently.
finished a book recently that was on my list that I didn't realize was like a dark Peter Pan horror story. It wasn't any
You're like,
good.
no, no, it wasn't. Oh, I'm sorry.
I actually recommended it to a friend because I needed somebody else to suffer with me, and she just finished it, and she's like, "What the hell was that?
That's brutal. Why
Why?"
would you do that?
Because like I wanted to see if it was just me, and
Mhm.
we both like this author. Like one of their previous books is Catriona Ward. It's called Nowhere Burning. The Last House on Needless Street is one of our favorite books of all time, written by this author, and we just haven't had good luck with any of their other works. And so
Mhm.
I was like, I'm curious to see what she thinks about it. Is it just me? It isn't. It really falls
Okay.
apart at the end.
Okay. Well, doesn't sound like one
We
I'll
keep picking it up.
doesn't sound like one I'll be reading.
No, you have no reason to pick that book up.
But absolutely not. No.
No. All right, so we're gonna start because we were talking yesterday, and I don't think we're in reading slumps. However, I feel like I get in a reading rut, maybe like where after I finish something, I really struggle on what to go to next, and if I let that struggle get out of control, it turns into a reading slump.
Well, see, I think it's more so I don't think it's a slump. I think it's more of an overwhelming amount of things to choose from.
I
Like
think that's what it is.
I think that's really what it is because when you went to the library as a kid, you had like a little stack of books. And that stack of books was what you had. And you're like, all right, well, I'm going to pick one of these three books. But now we have Kindles, we have audio, we have, I have a whole library on my Kindle,
Yeah.
and I just added more
And
to it too.
and new books come out every week. Like every 7
Yeah.
days, 1 or 2 new books are coming out, and
Uh-huh.
it feels like it's the FOMO thing, your fear of missing out. You don't wanna pick the wrong book
Uh-huh.
and then be like, "I wish I had read this instead." And I think this is across the board. I think a lot of people are struggling with this, um, and they're ending up in kind of slumpy situations because they just there's too many options. They've got these
Uh-huh.
huge TBRs, and I think that's why the wave of reading my TBR, there's a lot of YouTubers that are doing, I'm not gonna buy any new books, and I'm not going to read new books. I'm only gonna read from my TBR and try and get that
Uh-huh.
down to 0, which
That's impossible. I'm sorry. That's just
it's
impossible.
not. It's not
There's
it's not easily doable.
no, it's not because when you really think about it, it's like, okay, here's my TBR or whatever, and you start with the very beginning of the year, and you're like, okay, here's all the books that are coming out this year. Who is really getting to all of their books? Like no one,
Because
no
you
one
have
is really
to
getting to them.
Well, you're anticipating new releases, right? So you wanna
Uh-huh.
read the new releases as they come out, and I happen to think reading the new releases when they come out is better than saying, "Oh, this new one came out, I'll put it on my shelf because I'm prioritizing what I already have."
Uh-huh.
Because then you're just taking putting one on and taking one off, and you're netting 0, right? Like, you're not and
Yeah,
the problem is you might have a bunch of the new ones and you're not really excited about the old ones, so you're not reading those as fast. So
I
your
that
TBR is
is
building.
that is completely true because when I tell you that I've had the same 2 books sitting here on my desk for the last month. I've had Ken and Daggermouth sitting here on this corner of my desk, like, I'm going to pick them up and read them, knowing that they're next, but when will I pick them up? Because I haven't picked them up, like, they've been sitting here on the corner of my desk, but here I am reading the 2nd book of Throne and Glass, Throne of Glass, the 2nd one, Crown of Midnight. So I'm like, "Oh, I want something with some fiction, fantasy, kinda pick me up a little bit," and as I'm reading, then I see all this buzz everywhere about this story might save your life. I think is what it's called. Is that what it, because
Yeah.
I keep sending it to you. I see all this buzz about that. And some ladies that I'm friends with, like my social friends, they're reading it and they're reading it together. And I was like, oh, I wanted to read this book. So lo and behold, yep, I put down Crown of Midnight to read this book.
I thought you finished that first.
No.
God.
I put it down so that I could read this one. And I mean, this is really good. This is really, really good. But and in turn, I ended up DNFing the Book of Longings because I was reading that over Easter week. That's the I don't even think I told you I started reading that one. It was pretty interesting.
Don't think you did.
It's like if Jesus had a wife and her name was Anna. So it was like their love story necessarily, right? It was very interesting. But I got like probably 40% and then I put it down for Crown of Midnight because it was just a slower read. And then of course I got frustrated with uh, Ren and Dragon Republic, Poppy War, and I got mad at her. So I was like, you know what? No, I'm just going to put this one down. So then I ended up DNF in that one. So I have to pick those back up eventually.
See, I said I was going to do a thing, right? And so I've
Uh-huh.
been trying my best to, when I start a book in a series,
Uh-huh.
just going through and finishing the series. And I picked up book 2 in the Shades of Magic, the
Uh-huh.
Darker Shades of Magic
Uh-huh.
series by V.E. Schwab. And I remember me and Emily, we kind of buddy read the first book 2, 3 years ago, and
See, you
it
didn't
was
tell
great.
me that one.
Oh yeah, we read it forever ago, and we really enjoyed it. I think I gave it a 4,
Mhm.
and I bought the second book, and it's kind of been sitting there, and I'm like, yeah. And then I don't know what it was. I don't know. I get Schwab's monthly newsletter, And
Mhm.
I was like, okay, we've got Vicious coming out. I think it is, or Violence, one of the two, or
Mhm.
Victorious. I don't
I
remember.
think it's
It's a V. I think it's Victorious. I think the first book is Vicious, and so that series caught me like, oh, I kind of want to do that, but I was like, wait a minute, I need to go to this Darker Shades of Magic first. So I went and
Mhm.
picked up book two, and it was one of those books that I love Schwab's writing so much,
Mhm.
but it was hard to continue to have my brain locked in on this story. So I felt like
Yeah.
I was jumping in and then jumping out and then jumping in. And while I got the story, right, it just wasn't like a fully cohesive experience. And I'm like, maybe and it was pretty long. It was 16 hours on audio. And so
That's
I was
nothing
like,
for you.
it was a struggle, you know? It cost 3 or 4 days. I did do it fairly quickly still, but
Mhm.
I was at the end of it, I was like, okay, I want to read, and I started grabbing these other fantasy books, and I'm like, no, no,
Mhm.
I need to finish. So I read the third book,
Okay.
The Conjuring of Light. It's the third book. It's the final book in the first trilogy for Darker Shades of Magic. And I had
Mhm.
the same experience, with the exception that that third book is just like, you know how second books are tough, you know?
Yeah.
That third book is just like action and fighting. The fighting sequences are so cool. So it's a lot more fast paced the whole time, but it's a 20-hour audiobook. So it was a longer
Oh,
story. And
okay.
so I finished it up, and I'm like, I'm happy I finished it, knowing that there is a secondary spin-off trilogy that she
Mhm.
started. One book is out. The other books, I don't know when they're going to come. So I'm going to give that second series time, because I don't want to read the first book in that and then wait a year or two before new
Mhm.
ones get released. So I'll
Yeah.
come back to that. But now that I'm done with that, I was like, okay, now it's time for my next read, but I can't go from fantasy to fantasy.
You gotta put something in there.
You have to mix it up. And so I went through, I'm not even kidding, 5, 6 books, starting and going,
I
no,
remember. You told me.
this is like silly. And so then I was like, okay, let me switch it up. Let me do a thriller. And I had this thriller called no, Dark Rooms.
Mhm.
And I wasn't vibing with the audio. I'm like, no, get out of here. And so then I picked it up. And so I was like, oh, going through my Goodreads, like, oh, what should I go on to next? So I'm all the way back in like August of last year, because all the books that have recently come out just weren't calling to me. And I seen this like vampire horror story, and I'm like, you know what? If there's an audio available, I'll listen to this, because it's a smaller, but it had a decent rating. It's not a lot of ratings, like 5,000, but it had like a 4.0. So I picked it up, and it's fine, and it's gonna do what I need it to do. It's gonna get me out of my fantasy rut, and so that I'll be excited for another fantasy book. But I could have easily pushed through a fantasy book and put myself in a reading slump.
I could see that happening with putting yourself in a slump because you do tend to read more of the fantasy books, and those worlds are complex, and sometimes you'll get a fantasy book and like for instance, I absolutely loved When the Moon Hatched. Like I was completely in that world because it was nothing like I've ever read before. But finding that next book, I was like, "Man, none of these books read like that," because it was just so immersive. And I think that's what's putting us all in this, like, slumpy type of slump because yeah, I mean, these are some really good books that we're reading.
It's hard to want to, so you leave a world, and now you've got to go somewhere else
Mhm,
and learn all these other things. And it's never, unless you're exclusively reading like romances and thrillers,
mhm.
you've got to like get into it, and they're longer stories. Books are getting longer.
Yeah,
Even like romances, I've seen 500-600 page romance books.
mhm,
So
yeah,
books are just getting longer, and
they are.
so it's really easy for you to feel like I'm not ready to go learn all. I don't want to do the work of
Mhm,
learning a new thing. And then so you pick up, you put down, you pick up, you put down, and then at some point you go, is it me? And then you just kind of stop reading for a while.
mhm.
And
Yeah,
I don't want that.
usually when that happens for me, I end up going to watch like a TV show or something. Like that's when I'm like, okay, my brain is burnt out on reading. I need to pick up something else. And one thing also that I found with these fantasy books is that it's just hard to switch. like you were saying, it is really hard to switch out of some of these fantasy worlds, and for me, I'm reading a lot of them on audio.
I mean, almost
And
exclusively for me.
see, I think that's a problem for me because that even happened with me in Bloodmarked. Like Bloodmarked took me a really long time because the narrator, she did amazing. But it's like when you get that, it seems like all the time it's high action, high action, high action. And then when you're like listening to it, you're like, what weren't they just fighting or something like to me? And I know it's me. It's completely me. I know it's me. But it's like I can't do so much of the high action fighting so much, and that's why I put down Dragon Republic because I got tired of Ren. I did. I
It's
just got
also a
tired of
book
him.
too. And
Yeah.
again, I'm a book two hater. There's very few book
Mhm.
twos that I think
Book
do a
twos
good
are
job.
tough. Book twos are
They're
tough.
so hard.
Bloodmarked was so good though. Bloodmarked was a really good book too. It was a
And
really good
then
book too.
I don't even begin to understand how you're struggling with book three then.
Because I want book 4.
That's fair.
Yeah, because
I mean,
I'm constantly rereading the books or like doing a summary, and I feel like if I'm going to read, because I am doing better. I am doing better with staying within my series. That's how I was doing like The Throne of Glass, and I even tried to start what's the second book of Red Rising? Golden Sun?
oh, Golden Sun, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I tried to start that one, and I was like, "No, let me not pick it up because I wanna finish this world that I'm in first." So I'm, like, trying to be more
I've
strategic with
heard
my reading.
that one is an incredible book too.
Okay. So
And
then
so
let's
it's
read it.
like, I know, I have it too. I have it sitting here. I found book two
Mhm,
at Goodwill, so I bought it. And so I own it. I have it on audio. I do need to
mhm,
pick it up. But here's the thing, I just said I'm going, if I start a series again, I'm going to go through.
mhm.
Now, there are 6 books in that series, and I don't think it's 2 trilogies. I think it's 6 books all
No,
connected.
it's something with it being, like, split. So I think the first 3 books are, like, the original. There's something with that series, and it's funny because I saw an old friend today at, Ham's baseball meeting, and he says, "Hey, I heard you," he's like, "You got a podcast now?" And I said, "Yeah, I do." And, he's like,
Well,
"Yeah, I'm
hopefully they're
reading."
listening.
Yeah, right, exactly. And, he's like, "Yeah, I listen to books all the time." I was like, "Well, then why aren't you listening to our podcast?" And he's like, "Well, what's a book I should read?" And I said Red Rising.
I mean,
Red Rising was really good though. It was really good.
okay, so apparently the first 3, I had to look it up because I didn't
Mhm.
know. The first
Yeah,
3
it's the first
follow
3.
Darrow,
Mhm.
and then the other 3 follow other multiple POVs. So it's not
Oh.
alluding to the characters and who we would be experiencing because I think it would give something away regarding the first trilogy. So
Mm.
I've just heard Red Rising book 1 is like very different from all of the other books, and everybody says like, "Okay, you enjoyed your time, but I promise you, you will bleed for these other books. Like, you will give everything you have."
Mhm.
So it's like, I do, you got me excited. I mean, I think I might go to that after I finish this. Oh, I just finished that book, that vampire book. So I'm
No, you
done,
gotta
so I
read
can
my
pick
book
something up.
first. No, you gotta
What is
pick
your,
up
no,
my
no,
book first.
no, your
Yes.
book will be,
No.
listen to me. Your book will be a palate cleanser in between my next fantasy reads.
Mhm. Mhm. Well, what about me? I'm supposed to read the book with you.
What about me? What about Mistborn book 2?
And this is why we tangent.
Emily gets me with this all the time. She's like, I want you to read. She wants me to read The Raven Scholar so bad. And I
Uh,
do. We own it. We have the physical book. I have the Audible. So, like,
uh-huh.
I do want to get to it, but it's a chunker. And I know it's like 30 something hours on audio. So I just have been,
30
like,
hour? I mean, no, it's not. Is it really?
uh, it's like 20, 26 something like that here. I have it on Audible.
I didn't know it was that. What is, I don't even know what
See who
that
can
was
find it
about.
faster. So it's got a really
You?
interesting, it's 24 hours and 12 minutes long.
I've been
So, like,
seeing
that's
this book
long.
around, but I don't
It
know. Like,
has a book of the year like energy last year. Everyone Loved it, and it had
Mm,
a really unique world building and magic system. Emily
okay.
loved it. And so I do. She wants me to read it, but I'm like, okay, but March 2025, y'all was supposed to read Mistborn, and she hasn't picked that up yet. So
I
I
finished
give
it
her a
though.
hard time on that. You
I
did.
finished it. Yes, I finished it.
She
Took me
she's
forever.
got like 2 pages in,
Took me forever, but I finished it. And that book, I will say again, Miss Porn is a great book. But where I messed myself up is I didn't listen straight through. I kept losing interest to it because of the narrator. We discovered this already as well. Me and narration have this really
which is
interesting relationship.
hilarious
Oh
because
my gosh.
you know who narrates the V.E. Schwab Conjuring of Light, Darker Shades of Magic?
Don't tell
Michael
me.
Kramer.
And he actually read it was another book that I had looked at that I think
You know the
it
one you
was
just sent me today?
yeah, he does that one too.
He's the
So
that
I'm
because I
like,
was
I
gonna
can't get away
pick
from
it
him.
up, and so I
I
was like,
can't
oh,
get
it's
away
Michael
from him.
Kramer.
I
The
can't get
one
away from
problem
him.
with that is, so I listen to all of Sanderson, and he exclusively does Sanderson.
Mhm.
Some of the voices, because he's not doing like crazy wild range. He has
Mhm.
this really deep voice when he does certain characters
Mhm.
in Stormlight. That character's like oh god, I want to say Storm God, but anyways, Stormfather, and he has this really deep, raspy voice. And he
Mhm.
does that in these other books for certain characters, and I can't help but hear the Stormfather when he does these voices. And I'm just like, wait a minute.
Mhm.
And then she has character names that are really similar to some of the characters in
No.
Stormlight. So he would say
Okay.
something, and I go, wait, no, huh? And so I love Michael Kramer. And in that new one that we were talking about, the James Islington, the Lycanius trilogy, I think Kate Redding is the other narrator on that one, which is it's Michael Kramer and Kate Redding who do Mistborn together and Stormlight. So
Well, not my Mistborn, because my Mistborn was only him.
the first book is no, you should have had Kate Redding. No, in the first book you just have you're
Mhm.
correct. You have Michael Kramer. In the second book and on, you get Kate Redding to read the parts for Vin.
Mm.
Really? Am I crazy?
My book is only still him, and that's why I'm still struggling because he's got his same monotone. Oh, I try. I try. It's only
Listen,
temporarily put down, but I did
the
decide
book
that
is
I'm gonna get the
incredible.
physical.
It is just Michael Kramer. I was wrong.
Mhm.
They tangent the Stormlight archive. For some reason, I thought she was
Okay.
part of Mistborn too, but
No, I decided that I'm buying book 2. Like, I'm actually going to buy Mistborn 1 and 2 and 3, and I'm gonna buy the physical books, and those will be the ones that I take around with me and read them because I'm finding that with the audio, it's really like, I'm sorry, I'm bored listening to 'em. Hey,
listen,
this is supposed to be a safe space, okay?
nobody said that. No, not when you talk about Sanderson. I've given that
I'm
man my
just
blood, sweat, and tears.
No, I'm just having a hard time keeping up with his narration, like, and that's
I think
we talked about it last
you,
week.
yeah, you do. Here's my one thing I'd say. I think you do too many books at one time.
No, I've been doing 1. Nope, I've been doing 1
You say
until
that,
I
but
get
you'll
bored,
do
until I get
yeah,
bored.
So you have 82 that have been started, and you'll occasionally go back. Like at some point, you just text me
Mhm.
sometime, and you're like, "Part two." Like, girl, you haven't picked this book up in 2 weeks. What are you talking about? Part two, you got to go
That's
back to part
because
one because you
that's because
forgot everything.
I get so bored, like, sometimes the books, when they just get too
You
slow.
need some Adderall, and you need to get that ADD under control because no, I do. I struggle the same way now. I've been
Uh-huh.
forcing myself. So if were to do a list of things to fight a slump, number one is mix up the genre. You can't just do the same thing over and over and over again.
Yeah,
Put in a palate cleanser. Like go get just a
a
fun
thriller or romance,
thriller
that's how I do
romance.
mine.
Yeah.
That's how I clear
Number
mine up.
number two would be try and do a book all the way through and not piecemeal it because well, I get bored here, I go here. And at some point you're juggling and you're just like, I haven't picked any of them up or I haven't finished any of them. And
That's
then the
me.
last one is when you do get in a slump and you feel like you can't get out, go watch TV.
Mhm.
Go do something else. Go catch up on the movies that you've been missing. Go do a different hobby for a little while because I think slumps are there for a reason because otherwise you're
Yeah.
going to get full on burnout and then you're
Yeah,
not
and
going to
you
want to
don't
pick
wanna
up any
get
books.
no, you don't wanna get burned out, and that's one thing why I love playing my Switch. Like, this weekend, I have definitely been playing my Switch a lot more because 'cause I'm like, "Ooh, my homework's done, new week, I got a couple of days, I can kinda, play around a little bit." And, plus the event is almost over, so I'm like, "I need to get all the Easter eggs that I can get." I know, it's a thing. I just got Pocahontas, and I was telling everybody, like, Pocahontas was my best friend. And then I just opened up Beauty and the Beast, right?
You're
So I'm so
ridiculous.
excited.
It's so funny. So we've been watching a lot of Larry
Uh-huh.
Reads on YouTube. And Larry now has a Twitch stream, and they'll occasionally read books. They'll
Mhm.
do video games. They'll do hobbies. They'll just do coloring. They'll do hangouts. It's
Oh,
it's very fun. But she was like, I think I'm going to become a gamer and instead of a booktuber. And I was like, absolutely not.
a
Okay,
lot of
we
people
need
do.
you. We need you to
Yeah.
do both or whatever. But we do enjoy just hanging out and watching her content because she is fun in general.
Yeah, she is. She is fun.
But I was like, "Oh, actually, you should stream what is it? Dreamlight Valley."
I have actually. I have streamed it on, TikTok a couple times.
Get over on Twitch.
I have a Twitch.
Well, do it.
It's Cozy Bookie 7. Cozy Bookie 7, yeah.
You and your sevens.
I love 7. I do. That's one of my favorite numbers. 7 and 3, my 2 favorite numbers.
Seven is my favorite number as well.
So don't talk about my 7s.
I don't put any of them in my usernames though. Um, but yeah, reading slumps are tough, and I think everybody's just figuring out what's going
Uh-huh.
on in this new reading year. I think for the most part, it's been a pretty quiet first quarter of the year. Like book releases haven't been crazy. The back
No.
half of the year, I think everybody's going to be like scrambling, right? We've got
Yeah,
Sarah
everybody's gonna be crazy.
and all these other books coming out. Riley Sager's got his summer release. Excited for that. So we have a
Uh-huh.
lot of books, which in a future episode coming up, we're going to do back half of the year book releases that we're excited about. But the back half looks way stronger than the first half of the year.
I will have to say that mine may need to be backwards because I had a pretty strong beginning of the year. Because remember, there were so many historical fictions and things that released for me, like Kin, Tayari Jones, that one came out, Where the Wildflowers Grow. The Seven Daughters of Dupree, that one I'm really excited to read. I haven't read it yet. Love from Harlem. Like, I'm just literally thinking of the books that are on top of my head that all came out within the first part of this year. I know they're not
Interesting.
Caleb reads, but
Nope.
they are all very good reads and very strong reads as well too. Most of them, I've read quite a few of them. Yeah, I read quite a few of them, but there's just still a couple that I need to make my way through. But there were a lot of books that it's just, it was historical fiction
Don't get
that
me
Caleb
wrong.
will never
I
read.
had a few. I just not as many as I feel like normal for the first
Uh-huh.
quarter of the year, first half of the year even.
Mhm.
So I'm really looking forward. Maybe I just haven't been exposed. Maybe I'm just my ears not to the ground, as they say, as closely. And so we'll see. We'll see what the back half of the year looks like.
Mhm.
Everybody fight your reading slump. Don't get stuck. Go catch up on the show. Go watch your comfort show. Reread a book. That's
Yeah.
a great option.
Rereading is a good one,
I
like,
almost picked
especially
up
if
one
it's
the other
one you
day.
like. Uh-huh. I could see myself rereading the book that I'm reading now just because I feel like I'm missing bits and parts of it. But This Story Might Save Your Life. It's by Tiffany Crumb. And I do believe it was a book of the month pick for
It
last month.
was, and I
And
didn't get it.
I didn't get it because I was reading and I was like, "Oh, that doesn't sound interesting." And I think it's actually made to read like that on purpose to kinda steer you in an opposite direction because I didn't expect this book to be the way that it is. Like, when I saw that it was a thriller, I'm like, "Oh, okay." But it's not your typical thriller.
Yeah.
It's definitely not your typical thriller, and you have that mystery piece to it. Like, I'll just say, like, one of the characters go missing and
Mhm.
the other person is trying to find this character, right? And throughout the whole story from where I'm at, I think I'm at like 40, no, I actually hit 50% today. You have clues and things that are left along the way by one person. And again, I'm not a spoiler giver. And what makes it more interesting is that you're getting 2 different timelines. So you're getting the timeline of the present, this person looking for this person, and you're getting the manuscript of, like, something else in a different time period. So it's, like,
Whoa.
really yeah, that's why I was like, you would really love it because it's a lot of moving and you're like, "But wait, and this happened, and, oh, that's why
Reminds me
that
of
one
Rock, Paper,
happened."
Scissors by, Alice Feeney, where
Oh, I
you get, like,
really
the
like
present
it.
day, and then you get the
Mhm.
letters, and they
Yeah.
connect.
Oh, I really like it. I am enjoying it. If I didn't have his meeting today, I probably would have finished it. Like, I am that close to being done. I think I only have 3 hours left on audio.
Well, we'll get you off of this so that you can
No,
go
because 'cause I'm
finish that
having
book tonight.
no, because 'cause I'm having fun. I'll finish that later. We still have things to do. And we gotta talk I mean, it
That's
actually
fair.
works because 'cause we're going right into talk about some of the different thrillers that are going on now anyways. So I just kinda just kicked it off with that one for thrillers.
Really excited about that.
Uh-huh.
I'm struggling with thrillers. I've been struggling for a couple years.
Uh-huh.
So the problem is
You need to read Feeder.
I don't think so. I'm struggling with what kind of thriller I want, right?
Okay.
Like so some of it kind of starts branching into like the horror realm with like a slasher kind of thriller or a good psychological thriller or supernatural thriller, something that's not just your typical domestic thriller because I think I'm over them right now. You can only give me so many characters that I'm only kind of intrigued by,
Uh-huh.
and then the same plot, right? So when I get something new and exciting, like something like this, where the format's different or something like that, I'm
Uh-huh.
excited for that. But I don't have
Ooh,
anything on my
see?
radar right now.
Well, then that's why you have to pick this one up, and that'll be your first thriller that you read. I'm telling you, you're going to enjoy the ride. And it's only, I think, 16, no, it's not even 16 hours. I think it's only 12 hours. It's either 10 or 12 hours on audio, and you read at like 1,000. So you would have it done in easily one day if you were working.
Yeah, I tend not to go all the way through those. Like the last
Uh-huh.
book I was reading was 10 hours,
Uh-huh.
and it was yesterday and today. It took me a couple days to get through it just because um I don't know, my attention span isn't great. So I do I do want to do the Feeney, the my husband's wife.
That was just odd. I started
But
that one.
I've heard the ending twists in ways that, as Feeney is known for,
Uh-huh.
that you won't see coming. You might guess some of them, but you're not going to guess all of them. And so I do want to go. That's one I am interested in.
I started it in January and I think I made it to like chapter 11. And, me doing all the things that I do at once, I just realized that it was me. I was the problem. And I said, this is not a book for me to read right now because there was so many different parts and it's like in 6 months later. And you're like, well, wait, what happened 6 months? So it was like me not remembering different pieces and parts to it. So I did put it down, but it starts off and it's twisty. It is because you're like, well, wait, how does that happen? What do you mean you go for a run and you come back home and that's not your home anymore? So that one,
I'm
yeah,
feeling very similar vibes again to Rock Paper Scissors by Feeney before,
I never
where
read that one.
it's my favorite Alice
Uh-huh.
Feeney.
I have to read it.
It is so twisty and fun, very his and hers like,
Uh-huh.
where you're constantly trying to take guesses and trust me, you're not gonna
Mm,
get it. And it's so
okay.
fun. So I do want to do that. I was watching Gabby on BookTube last night, and I sent you the picture because she's talking about
Uh-huh.
her top thrillers, and that one that you just talked about, My
Uh-huh.
Husband's Wife,
Uh-huh.
and our book club pick, Mary Kubika's It's Not Her,
Really?
were all in her top list over the last
Interesting.
6 months.
That's
So
very interesting. Okay.
I think I'm gonna pick that one up sooner than later because again, I could see myself if you hadn't got me so excited about Red Rising, I would probably go right onto our book club pick. But now I'm too excited for Red Rising. So I think I have to go do that and go through those two books, and
Mhm.
then I'll try and do our book club pick, and then maybe I'll get around to this one.
I have had the book 2 of Red Rising in my Libby for, like, 2 or 3 months now, because I know I'm going to read it eventually, right? But I know this is my issue because 'cause you're already looking at me sideways, but I'm scared that if I decide to return it to the library, that I won't pick it back up, and I'll forget
That's
about it,
I got ours from the physical from the library
or I would have to wait.
because I don't it's getting mixed reviews,
Mhm.
so I don't know how long you're gonna have to wait.
Okay, because I could see
Because
myself
it's not
because
an
that's what
Everand
happens.
credit kind of worthy story.
I think that one is on Everand, is it?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, because I'm finding a lot of the books that I wanna read are not on Everand, which is really weird because usually they're always on
I
Everand.
haven't not found a book on Everand other than some of my small time horror books or the Audible exclusive garbage. Those are the only ones.
Mistborn, those are not on there? Any other Brandon
Correct.
Sandersons?
But all of those are on Hoopla.
Yes, those are on Hoopla, but which one else is not on there? The one I'm reading now, Crown of Midnight. All of the Throne of Glass series, they're not on Everand either.
Think they're I think they're Kindle or Audibles.
They're Audibles,
Yeah.
so I have to go through Libby for those.
Yeah. That sucks.
So it's like and that's another thing that I think puts people in the reading slumps too, because if you want one book and you wanna listen to that book along with reading it, you gotta find the book because so many
Yeah.
things are with Audible now. And I'll
Yeah.
be honest, I got rid of my Audible subscription because I don't wanna pay for the 1 credit a month. So now, like, with that recent sale that just happened, I bought, like, I think I bought, like, 6 or 7 books, and
I bought 4
I
or
spent
5.
20 I spent $25.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Sweet." So now I'm good with, those books, and they were series. So I got the Will of the Many and the Strength of the Few because that is definitely on my list. Like I told you, that is gonna be a summer read for me. Probably June is when I'm thinking about reading those, because I have to segment my stuff out.
Oh,
So probably June for those. And then I also got a series by Ashley Antoinette. So she's probably one of I don't read a lot of urban fiction because sometimes they're just too similar for me, too much of the same.
urban fiction or urban fantasy?
Urban fiction.
Okay. Yeah,
So,
that's
like,
way outside my comfort zone.
yeah, I will tell you that the only ones that I really found that I really like and can tolerate, because some of them, like I just said, they're too much for me. It's just too much. But Ashley Antoinette, she has some really good storylines in hers that really keep your attention. And I read her Moth to the Flame series. So, no, Moth to a Flame, which goes into Ethic series, which is like, I think Ethic is 5 or 6 books and I could be wrong. Then there's, like, some more books in between, and then there's Butterfly series, and she's
Jeez.
actually right, and it's
It's a
like
lot of books.
it's like the family. So, like, one of them is about one of the daughters, the other one is about another one of the daughters, and you just kinda get this whole family, like, necessarily in there, but it's really good because there's always something going on. But it's, like, good stuff because it's real, like, you have child loss in there, you have people that, unfortunately lose their life, and it's just one of those stories that you can just keep up with, and she's one of the only ones that I've really found so far that I can really stick with, and I got one of her newest series for I think each book was, like, 2 or $3. Yeah, so I'm like, "I'm good on books. I got enough to get me through the summer. I might
You won't
pause
read
my
any of those
Everand."
and you'll pick up other ones. No, you don't have to pause anymore because
Mine
they
doesn't
roll
say to
over.
roll over yet. Mine don't roll over
It
yet.
doesn't start until May. It starts May 3rd.
Well, why didn't they send me a notice?
I don't know why you didn't get the email. I got it.
Maybe Caleb is the special one because they didn't tell me anything about a rollover.
You probably missed the email. Don't blame them.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to say that it's only a Caleb thing because they haven't told me anything about that.
Girl, you crazy. One of the questions that came through on our discussion on thrillers was, if you were thrust into that world, would you survive? And
Nope.
absolutely not. No,
Nope. Mm-mm. Nope.
I'm not half as clever as I think I am. I'm not going to solve anything, and I'm
Mm-mm.
probably the dead one.
No, I would be the one to fight, but no, I wouldn't. I'd probably end up just, I mean, then again, you got to see what book you're reading because I
Well,
mean,
that's why I was like, you're the new one you're talking about, right? It's two podcast hosts, right? One of them disappears.
uh-huh.
Which one of us is disappearing?
It would be me.
Yeah, it's probably you.
It would be me. I went on a social hiatus. It would be me.
Yeah, I feel like I'm too busy for them to nail me down. Uh, but
No,
that'd be very interesting to
my
think about. Like, oh
goodness.
my god, if you just went missing one day and just like, oh my
Uh-huh.
gosh, like I'd be on this podcast. Like, where's my partner? What's going on? Got to investigate. Got to figure out
Yeah.
all the secrets.
Yeah, and it's actually really funny too because I'm just going to say they so that I don't, give it away. But
Yeah.
they end up posting it on their socials about the other person missing. And then they're like, if you have any information, please call or give us, numbers. And throughout the story, you have blurbs of, hey, I saw so and so at the store, or hey, I saw so and so in Vegas.
Vegas. Oh
So
Lord.
there's all these different ones that they like have like woven and stuff. It's definitely one to listen to audio. I will tell you the audiobook is fun. It's got sound effects and everything.
Interesting.
Yeah, I will tell you these new
It sounds
audiobooks
fun.
are good. I like these new audiobooks that are coming
I'm
out.
not super hype on the audio sound effects. I used to be, but I feel like they get too distracting in my books right now because I'm usually
Uh-huh.
listening to them when I'm doing something. So I'll be
Uh-huh.
doing something, then so all of a sudden you'll hear a bird or some crickets or something. And I'm just like,
Uh-huh. I think that
I'm
is
thinking it's
so
in my
cool.
house, and
No,
I'm
I
just like,
think that's so
no.
cool. I love it so much more. Like, I think these are the types of audiobooks that I need to keep my attention because if it is like that one person reading, like, I know for sure it took me forever to read Fourth Wing because every time I turned it around, this girl was fighting something or the author. You know how they get when they're like reading those like really high action scenes or
Yeah.
whatever? And I'm like, I can't take this.
But I couldn't handle high action scenes, and then while I'm trying to listen to the action and imagine it, because I've gotta, like,
Uh,
think about the stuff, and then I
Yeah.
hear sword sounds or gun sounds or something, I'm gonna get distracted every time and like, "Oh, nope, what?"
It's like what was that? And rewind it. But I
I
do.
struggled
I
with
like
that
the
in
new
Red
ones.
Rising.
I do like the new audios. I will definitely say I am a fan.
I do like the full cast because
Uh-huh.
I'm so sick of, again, you get somebody like Michael Kramer, and I think he does a pretty decent job when he has to do female voices. They don't sound
Uh-huh.
so, there's some narrators that I think are borderline offensive to the entire
Yeah.
gender of women by trying to do female voices.
Just awful.
They're bad.
Like one that's my favorite that I'll always say is the guy that read the S.A. Cosby books. I don't remember his name, but when he reads that, like, the woman or whatever, he gets that
Yeah.
high-pitched nasally type of thing. Oh my goodness.
There's some, and even in that one, in the Razorblade Tears,
Uh-huh.
he had the two different guys, and
Yeah.
when he would switch from one to the other, I mean, I would just be so
Uh-huh.
confused sometimes because I don't think they weren't particular. One was fine, right? Like that was just his normal voice. The other
Uh-huh.
one, I had no clue what he was supposed to be, the white guy, and I was just so confused why he sounded like he sounded.
But
It was very interesting.
I will say though, audiobook narration takes some talent. It really does because
I thought
I
about this
couldn't
the other
imagine.
day. I'm like,
I
if I
couldn't do
was,
it.
I don't think I couldn't do it if I was supposed to do the female voices.
Uh-huh.
I'm not going to embarrass myself. And also,
Uh-huh.
when you nail like an accent, you have like a funny character. I
Uh-huh.
can't get back into that character. Like it's like a one-time thing. So you better give me every piece of the script.
Mhm.
to read straight through because I'm never going to nail this voice down and it's going to ebb and flow, right? My
Mhm.
accent's all of a sudden going to start to morph from Irish to German real fast and it's going to be very confusing. So I don't
Yeah,
think I have what it takes to do it.
it's just gonna flop everywhere, and I will say, like, I definitely just, like, hats off, kudos
Oh,
and
yeah.
everything to anybody that reads, because I couldn't imagine being locked in, like, a soundproof booth that is, like a lot of people are in, like, these little tiny closets. Like, have
Really
you seen?
small. A lot of them do them at
Yes.
home
I
because
couldn't do
they
it.
do them in a closet and they convert a closet with all the soundproofing and stuff. And
I couldn't do it. Mm-mm. I couldn't do it. Like, I mean, like, these books are, they're some pretty decent books. You just talked about books being bigger. I couldn't imagine being locked in a tiny space like that. Mm-mm.
if you think about it, you get let's just call it a 12-hour audiobook.
Mhm.
It's probably every bit of double that.
Yeah.
20 plus hours because you do it and then you got a
Mhm.
producer, right?
And you gotta
Who
go back and do the takes and all the
so you
other
do that take
things and
again.
mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I couldn't do it.
There's a female audio narrator who does a lot of the romances and she
Mhm.
has a TikTok and stuff, and when she posts her videos, like she'll be reading something and then she'll just like you'll hear her click and she'll just go, what did I just read?
That would
Sometimes
be
she's
me.
like, when she read, I think she read one of those dark romances where somebody put something that shouldn't be somewhere, and
Okay.
she's like clicks, and she's just like, "That's a new one." I couldn't do it because I'd be laughing the first time I'm trying to get through it.
Mhm. Yeah, no. Some of these that's another topic for another day. I mean, we briefly talk about the craziness that are in some of these books, but yeah, we're not gonna tangent on that one.
No, no, but I think that's the topics that we wanted to talk about today
Yeah,
because we've been dangerously close to some reading slumps. We've been in reading
mhm.
slumps. I had at least one last year. I think
I
two.
would never admit it.
Yeah, you suck. You suck at admitting it, but you'll just continue to pick up a bunch of books and put them down and then be like, I'm not in a reading slump. Like, girl, you picked up
I
82 books and you've
I
read none of them.
really just like
And you soft DNF everything,
mhm.
which I'm like, do you ever like hard DNF something? Like, I'm not going back to that. I don't see you do that a lot.
There was a book that I put down that I never picked back up. It happens every once in a while. Because a lot of times what happens is the book will just be slow, and, like, that's my thing. If I'm reading a book that I'm really interested in, but it gets too slow, and I'm like, "No, I'm not feeling this right now," I will put it down, and I'll actually leave it in my Fable currently reading for a while, and then after it's in there for a while and I don't pick it back up, I move to do not finish. So there are a handful of books in there that I did not pick back up.
And you don't plan to? Wow. Okay.
Nope.
I'm much more brutal
I
on
just
my
don't talk about
DNFs.
them much because I give all the books a try. Like, I do definitely give them a try. But for instance, some of my books that are currently in did not finish, that are true do not finish. When the Forest Dreams, that was that arc that I had, and I was so bored with it.
Is that the one where you had
I
to you had to message them back and say no?
Uh-huh. The day that it was due, I was like, "I can't do this." I
Yeah.
felt terrible, but I'm like, "There's no way I could write something on this." I did DNF Immortal Dark, and I did try to pick it back up, but I ended up DNFing it again. So I think that's a solid just gonna stay there. Quicksilver.
Interesting.
Quicksilver was one of my DNFs. I also put Restore Me by J.L. Seegers in here. I have The 13th Child and Crave by Tracy Wolff. Five Broken Blades is still in there, but I am dedicated to try that book again.
Hate that. No. Let it go. Let it go.
But
It's
I
a
think the
terrible
books
book.
are so pretty.
Which I think that's so crazy. I talk to Emily about this all the time. You love these book covers, and I think they're just okay. They're just okay.
There's something about these book covers, I don't know, and I think I also like the fact that it goes from 5 to 4 to 3, right?
But then it stops.
I know, so that's why I'm more interested to read it, and you saw she has more coming out as well. This,
But not in that series.
No, it's a different series, and I think it's June or July. I think. Yeah, so she's got another book
I
coming out.
won't be picking it up. I don't think that brand of romantasy was for me.
That was different. And then also, I didn't finish Red City.
You didn't.
Mm-mm,
And
I
I
did
told
not
you,
finish. Yeah, you told me
don't
it's
pick it
like it's
back up.
not even that interesting as far as to keep reading it, but I see
It's
so
not.
many people so interested to read it. And
I see it all the time.
another thing that I end up doing, I know you said we're almost done, but what I end up doing is if I'm currently reading a book and it just sits forever and I'm like towards the beginning, I'll actually put it back in my want to read pile. That's when I softy and F it. I will actually move it to the want to read pile again. And then when I'm ready to read it, then I pull it back up and read it.
See, I have a special list for Soft DNF where it's just like, hey, wrong time, wrong place. But I'm interested to read it. And a lot of times I don't even realize
Hmm.
by the time I go back to them, it may be years later.
Uh-huh.
I forget that it was even in that category until I finish it and I go to review it. And I'm like, oh, I Soft DNF this. Um, but
Mm.
I can't, I have a lot of hard DNFs, especially lately,
Uh-huh.
because I watched somebody else on a post say, like, if I start a book, I have to finish it. And I'm not here
Absolutely
for that.
not. No,
No,
absolutely not. Oh, another one that's
I
in
used to
here
be
is
that
The
way.
River is Waiting, Wally Lamb.
You're going back to that. I feel you're going back to that.
I am gonna go back to that. It was
I, it,
just
it's
it
interesting, but
it
I don't
is.
know.
And the thing is that during the time that when I was reading it, it was just hitting too hard. Like,
Yeah, that's fair.
I couldn't imagine. I
You
couldn't.
know what
You
else is
know
in there that you don't have on that list?
what?
The Covenant of Water.
Because I put that back in my want to read. I did.
It's
I still want to
it's a
read that
big
book.
book.
I still am gonna read that book. And you know why I'm gonna read it? Because I said I'm
You
gonna read
crazy?
it. I am not crazy. That book is beautiful. It is. It is written very well. And the only thing, like I told you, I was listening to it and the accent was so
Yeah.
thick. And then you got to, I think I actually made it to part two or three, and he was talking about doing surgeries. I'm very squeamish. I am extremely squeamish. And some of the stuff that he was saying about peeling stuff back, I thought, oh,
But you're gonna go back to it?
but that's why I can't read Verity by Colleen Hoover. Everybody talks about because the very first line in that book talks about pushing somebody's head. My kid's over here. This talks about
Yeah.
running over. Like, no, I can't. I can't.
I own Verity, and it is the book that
Mhm.
I give
So
Colleen
read the
Hoover
first
a
line.
hard time. It is a book because they say it's so different from all of her other stuff. It's so dark and blah, blah, blah. And so I want to read it because I feel like because I read such dark things, I don't think
Uh-huh.
it's going to be as dark for me,
No, for
but
me, it was
I'm
the
interested.
squeamish part. I am very squeamish, and there's books that mention anything about like skin peeling or crushing, and I can't. I just can't. Can't.
Next episode, we're going to do nothing but those gross recommendations. And I'm going to make you read them
You can
all.
see, so you can see on my face.
I'm going
I'm
to read
telling you.
excerpts from each one.
And I'll make sure I have a bucket nearby or something. I can't. That's
She
why
can't
I did
cry
not.
during a book, but she can throw up,
Hey, that takes talent.
right?
No, I cannot do any. That's why I never decided like I can't go into nursing or anything like that. Like when I was trying to have like that, moment of what I wanted to do in my life,
Yeah,
I
you're like,
thought
not
about
that.
it. And I was like, no, I can't do fluids. I cannot do bodily fluids. I can't do like the cutting open or if like a bone is broken and it's like, I can't. I can't. And reading about
That's
it's
so
even
funny.
worse because it's too descriptive. I can't do
Now it's
it.
in your brain.
I
You're never
know.
going to be able to get it out.
I know. And that's why I keep saying I can never read Verity because I read the very first line in that book and I haven't picked it up since.
You're making me excited for these books. I
Books I
do. I
won't
do need to
read.
pick that book up eventually. All right.
Just
We've
tell me to
rambled
get
on
to
for
like
an
chapter
hour.
five. I'll get to chapter five and just skip the whole beginning of the book.
No, you have to have the context.
No, no, I don't. I don't want to hear about people being smushed.
Oh my gosh. Well, it's an hour. We're going to
We
call it.
made it.
Um, I like these little episodes to just keep on. Hey, we got a couple things to chat about, and let's just chat
Yeah.
for an hour or so. I
Yes.
wanted to
I
do
think it's
45 minutes, but I looked up it and it was like 35, and I was like, oh yeah, we're not making 45 minutes.
no, no, because we ended up tanging about something. But that's normal. That happens.
That is normal. All right. Well, we're not going to hold you any longer. Next episode coming out in a couple weeks. We'll see you next time. Until next time,
Happy reading.
bye.
Bye.